Hello, I'm joined today by Dave Richards, CEO and founder of WANdisco. Dave, welcome.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Now, it's been a bit of a roller coaster time for investors in big data stocks recently. Share prices soared at the end of last year and then followed by a pretty significant downwards correction more recently. And WANdisco has been no exception. Can you explain why?
I don't think anybody really knows why. I think there's been a fundamental shift in sentiment recently from growth stocks in general, not just big data stocks. And we've seen in the US companies like Splunk, Tableau, Kulik, and others like FireEye have a sort of dramatic reversal. But let's remember something, that I don't think any of the stories of these companies, including WANdisco, have changed. In fact, from what we're seeing in the marketplace, our story is solidifying day by day. We're seeing great demand coming from the Fortune 1000 companies for this new technology. Let's also remember an interesting stat, well, two interesting statistics. The first one, in the next 4 years, we'll create more technology than we did prior from when Edison first invented the light bulb. So that's incredible. And the second thing that I wanted to mention is that 60% of the S&P 500 in 10 years haven't even been created yet. So, there's great opportunities in the marketplace for growth companies like WANdisco.
Now, your big data strategy revolves around improving the resilience of Hadoop. Could you just explain a bit more about what Hadoop is?
So Hadoop is the de facto standard in big data. It was invented, created by Yahoo, actually by a team of engineers at Yahoo in 2006. And it's a huge, great big database. It allows you to store, curate, manage, and query colossal amounts of data, more data than you could ever imagine, like the entire internet, for example, in one single data store. It started out life as being just that, for a search engine company. But then a company called Facebook adopted it, then Twitter and Pinterest, Instagram. All those companies, all these new brand of social media companies, some of the most successful companies in the world, like Facebook, for example, they're really big data companies. Now that technology is moving into enterprise, and it's becoming the de facto standard enterprise applications platform for all enterprises.
And how do you think people are actually going to use WANdisco's Hadoop technology?
So Hadoop is being adopted by very large financial services businesses and telecommunications companies. So here's a quick example. In a bank, you'll find a lot of data that's both structured and unstructured. Hadoop is the only way, really, that you can store colossal amounts of unstructured data and then build applications on top of it. So imagine if half of the data inside a bank is in Word documents and PDF files. There's nothing you can do with those things today. So imagine if you need to know information about all your customers. How do you find that information? The only way you can find out that information is by putting it into Hadoop and then building applications and querying that data.
And so how is WANdisco using Hadoop differently to other companies? Presumably other companies are also using it.
Yeah, there's a lot of adoption of Hadoop in the market. I mean, and it's changing. It will touch virtually every aspect of life. So, for example, the University of California, Irvine Hospital. So today they use databases to store patient records, but there's lots of other data inside a hospital as well. So, for example, a heart pacemaker is a computer, wearable information, and information about what a patient likes to eat when they're at home. So two use cases from the University of California, Irvine. One, sepsis occurs in a J-curve, and they're now using Hadoop in a very specific way, so they can plot blood calculations, etc., so they can plot sepsis every 15 seconds. That will save thousands upon thousands of lives, because if you get to the wrong part of the J-curve, people just die. Now, clearly, it's important, therefore, that system stands up, it stays up. WANdisco is the de facto standard in the way that you maintain Hadoop systems being alive. We call it 100% uptime, and we guarantee that. Second use case is actually a heart pacemaker. So heart pacemaker sends information back to this large Hadoop system. The UCI think they can predict cardiac arrest 3 days before it's going to happen and call a patient into hospital. So I think my message really is that Hadoop is going to unlock some of the secrets of the world. I know there's a lot of sort of confusion in the marketplace about big data and big brother. It's not really about that. It's about unlocking the world's secrets and enabling us to do things that we've never been able to do before.
And so, looking forward, what role would you like WANdisco to play in this new sort of Hadoop system?
So we like to talk about enterprise infrastructure. So if we look at the current enterprise infrastructure, it's called three-tier client server, where you have computing power on the desktop, say Microsoft and Intel. You have middleware companies like SAP and JD Edwards and so on. Then you have database companies like Oracle. We want to be part of that overall this new infrastructure around big data and Hadoop. And the specific thing that we do is continuous availability. So we want to be the continuous availability layer in that stack that ensures that Hadoop is resilient for enterprise use. Because if you think, if you're a telco company and you're relying on this to store customer information, if you're British Gas and you're using it for a CRM system, which we announced recently, if you're a bank and you're using it for trading systems, an outage in a bank, by the way, a 1-minute outage for a large bank is $100 million per minute in lost transactions. Now, if we can ensure that doesn't happen, we can ensure that Hadoop can be used for these mission-critical enterprise use cases.
So looking forward again, what are the key milestones that you would like to achieve over the next 12 months or so in order to maintain your position at the centre of this technology boom?
So what we're looking to do is really two things. The first thing is the ecosystem. Now, we've announced strategic partnerships with two massive companies in the space, one called Cloudera, another one called Hortonworks. Cloudera recently raised close to $1 billion from Intel for a small startup company with less than 100 million of revenue. So they're two, but I think there are others as well. So I want people to think of as kind of like ARM, what ARM is to the telecommunications industry. So ARM chips embedded in cell phones. I'd like our technology, our unique, patented, active replication technology to be part of the overall ecosystem of everybody's products that ship into this market. The second thing, of course, is customers. We'll continue to announce customers, probably large customers and use cases that would probably astound the market. And they're the real two things, the key milestones that we're looking to do this year.
It sounds like you've got a challenging 12 months ahead. Exciting.
We're going to be very busy.
All the best with that. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Pleasure.
If you'd like any more information, please do visit the Edison website.